Johnny Gargano, and you are listening to the Bob Culture Podcast.
Nothing between the lines of the page or at a time. Forgiveness is courageous, but this angel fell out of line. Left in no second chance or redemption can be found. 'Cause you can't run the devil and the devil is running you down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a very special episode of the BCP Shameless Promo, brought to you by our friends over at Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, located in Englishtown, New Jersey, the Blue Building, over at the Flea Market there from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays, or check them out online, FunkensteinWrestlingSuperstore.com. Lots of stuff. We got G.I. Joes, X-Men, wrestling, retro video games, all that good stuff. Heather and Dan, thank you for sponsoring the show. We appreciate you so much. And also, we got to shout out our other sponsor. What's it called here? A Contest of Champions, where heroes gather. That's going to be December 3rd, guys. Toms River, New Jersey, RWJ Barnabas Health Arena. We got a fan fest. We got a camp. We got a show with some stellar talent. And right now, I'm so excited to welcome to the show. We've seen him perform in the ring. We see him do a lot of work outside the ring. We know who he is, a man, one of the head honchos behind Contest of Champions. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Donnie Bucci. What's up, sir? How are you today?
How you doing, my friend? It's a pleasure to be here. I'm really impressed with what you have going on. You're an impressive individual. I've just met you recently, and I vetted you a little bit. I checked into you a little bit, and you're pretty damn talented, bro. I don't throw that around easily.
I appreciate you putting me over, man. And that meant a lot coming from you at the press conference, man. I really do mean that. And it's given me a lot of opportunities, man. And I'm, some places I've gotten some new opportunities. I'm at the bottom of the barrel, but I keep trying to push and work my way up, man. And I'm working hard with whatever platform I'm given, man. And I appreciate that, man. But we're here to put you over today, man, because you are involved in something that I'm very excited about. Got to shout out Chad Minnis for also help putting this together. But right now, Contest of Champions, an event like no other. And I'm not just saying that. We have the Fan Fest, the camp, and now we have the Super Show. It's going to be amazing, man. Tell everyone about your role in this, man, why you decided to get involved with Chad and everybody.
Well, I don't know if you were with us last year. Last year, we did a big event in Lacey Township at the high school. We had Mark Henry on it.
Big Bang, yeah.
The Big Bang. The idea behind the Big Bang was that I hadn't promoted an event in almost 20 years. And after I closed down PCW, Phoenix Championship Wrestling, I had a career in law enforcement for 20 years. And then I got back.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. And then this opportunity came back to get back into the business. So chance came up to promote a show. I was looking for a like-minded individual to throw in with and to do this with. And I was introduced to Chad. And lo and behold, it turns out that Chad used to come to all the PCW shows when I promoted downtown Toms River at the old sports arena. He was one of the guys in the front row. So we had a natural chemistry. We hit it off. We did the event in Lacey Township. We drew, I think it was 800-900 people, whatever it was. It was a huge crowd, Awesome night. And this one kind of fell into our lap in the couple months after that event. We have a really good friend of mine named Sean McHugh, who happens to be the vice president of the 200 Club of Ocean County. And what the 200 Club is, they provide assistance financially, morally, spiritually, everything else to the families of fallen law enforcement, fire, and EMS. They were looking to do a big event, a fundraiser for their group. So Sean had said to me, "Hey, why don't we do a big event in Toms River? We'll scout around, see what kind of venue we can get." We were thinking the high schools, a couple other places, and then the people that run the RWJ Barnabas Health Arena had reached out to it and heard about it. And we sat down with them and we made it happen. And lo and behold, man, we're now in the single biggest arena, one of the biggest arenas in the state of New Jersey, and indoor arenas, and the biggest arena in Ocean County. And it's going to be the biggest event and this isn't hyperbole, this is the biggest event that Ocean County, and I dare say one of the biggest events that New Jersey's ever seen.
Yeah.
And that's how it came.
I'm so hyped for it, man, and very well said. And, you obviously working a lot behind the scenes. It was so good to get to meet you, man. But let's talk about some of this talent that we're bringing in. Don't want to bury the lead here. A little guy, I don't know if you heard of him, named Sting, coming out. Tommy Dreamer, Nick Aldis, making headlines right now. Sergeant Slaughter, Matt Cardona. We saw him last night at the musical. Last match, got to shout them out. He did a stellar job. Brian Myers, someone named Nova, you may have heard of, might be there, might have a match. Man, what was your mindset when you were bringing in some of this talent and some of these names, man? It's just like a little from here, a little from there, man. I'm so excited. I'm hoping to talk to some of these guys. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, the very first name that came out of your mouth, Sting. Like, I can't put into context how big having Sting on your event is. This guy is literally on the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling. There's probably only 2 or 3 human beings on the planet that are bigger name-wise in the business than Sting that are alive at this time. Yeah. And Sting just doesn't come out of his house every weekend and appear on just anything. There was a vetting process to this. There was a lot of phone calls made, a lot of legwork, and it all boiled down to Sting wanting to do this event as much as we wanted him to do it. And it speaks to what kind of person he is, that he would take time out of his schedule to come down. Because even though this is a huge deal to us in the world of Sting, I mean, let's be honest, it's Toms River, New Jersey. It's still awesome and it's huge, but this guy's wrestled all over the galaxy. So for Sting to come down here and be part of this event in the meet and greet and appear on the show, which to the best of my knowledge has never, I don't think it's ever happened. I don't think Sting has ever appeared on an independent wrestling show. Maybe, I don't know.
No.
And then to have Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler, he might be right next to Sting on the Mount Rushmore. Sergeant Slaughter, Dreamer, Cardona, Myers, Nova. This is going to be Nova. That's my brother, for those who don't know, Mike Bucci, Nova. This is his farewell match in the town that it all started in, Toms River, New Jersey. This is our hometown, and this is where he's ending his career almost 30 years later. It's just crazy that we were able to do this. And we didn't even mention 2 of the biggest names that are on the event, Todd Frazier and Frankie Edgar.
That's amazing.
I mean, just stop for a second and think to yourself. This event has Sting, Jerry Lawler, Sergeant Slaughter, Frankie Edgar, Todd Frazier. I have never, and listen, I've been out of the business for a long time, but maybe you know, maybe I don't, but can you think of a lineup in the United States over the last decade or whenever that's had this kind of firepower on it? Because I can't. Maybe it has. I don't know. But they're all legitimate legends. They're all great people. That's the key to this. We surrounded ourselves with like-minded people who had a common vision, and everybody's working towards a common goal to just have a fantastic day. And that's where Chad came in with the Super Camp. That was all his idea. I had never done one of those. And when he proposed it to me for that Saturday from 8 to 4, and I think we have almost 75 people. I think it's pretty much sold out. 75 people signed up that are going to be getting blocks of instruction from some of the very best in the country. Lou D'Angeli, Kevin Kelly, Dave Penzer, Sean Donovan, Anthony Green. It's on and on. It's crazy. I mean, the promoters that are coming to look for talent. Some people, when they wake up on December 4th, there's going to be people's lives who are changed because they're going to get full-time job offers off of their performances and what occurs during the 24-hour period on December 3rd. I don't think that can be understated. There's going to be people plucked from this show that you're going to see in 2023 on people's television sets. I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen. Mark, put it down and pen because it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think so. And I my colleagues, I do commentary on the indies, and it's cool to see like a lot of the people that I'm talking to is like, hey, I've been studying a lot of tape, hey, I've been listening to the commentary, or like some of the wrestlers I talk to, like they're very excited about it. And like, they know what a big deal it is. Like they're really training and studying tape. And that's so cool. And thank you, Chad, and to you and everybody for that opportunity, man. That's my favorite word, opportunity, man. And like you said, we have so much talent on here. We have WWE Hall of Famers. We have ECW legends. We have current AEW talent in Kazarian, current NWA talent, a major baseball star. This is amazing. I love all of it, but I got to ask you this, Donnie. You said I could call you Donnie if that's cool. There's a little emotion in your voice when you're talking about your brother. You guys talk about, I believe it was PCW and starting in Tom's River. It's kind of cool. Big Jersey guy over here, ending in Tom's River. What's the level of emotion? And it's a great matchup too, but what's the level of emotion coming from you personally for this match?
I'm going to tell you, Nova's career started in the basement of my mom and dad's house, which is located on Raleigh Drive in Toms River, in a makeshift wrestling ring that was made of an old mattress, some clothesline, and some garage door springs to make the rope spring from our dad's overhead doors business. And that's where it's going to end. We went to Mike Sharp's starting in 1990 after wrestling in the basement for a year or two. And then I can tell you this from an emotional point of view. In January of 1991, does that mean anything to you? January 1991. Can you think of anything off the top of your head that would have been a major event in New Jersey wrestling history in 1991, January?
So I would have been 8 years old. And I did not come into wrestling until the ruthless aggression era. So not until I was in college. So I'm not the best at the history. I'm guessing, was this you said New Jersey? Was it the AC Mania?
Which one?
Was it the Atlantic City event maybe?
No.
Okay.
January of 1991 happens to be I forget the exact date, but it's when Ric Flair had won the title from Sting up in the Meadowlands.
Oh,
that show occurred. It's famous because that show occurred during a blizzard. There was a snowstorm. That trip usually takes about an hour and 15, hour and 20 from my house.
Yeah.
I was one of the 4 guys who were in a car that went to that event and took over 3 hours that night to get there in the snowstorm. The other 3 guys in the car, one was Nova, one was our friend Rich Lom, and our other was a friend named Artie Gant. We took his mother's car. It didn't have reverse. We missed an exit on the turnpike and had to get out in a snowstorm and push the car backwards to get off that exit. And the reason we went to that show was to see Sting. And to sit here almost 30 years later and think that I'm going to have a hand in producing an event with that guy on it and my brother's last match is all the validation that I never needed validation. I'm a king in my house to my daughters and my wife, so that's all I ever needed. To do that means more to me than I could ever explain. Because I remember it like it was yesterday. I was 19 years old, and I had scraped the bottom of my little Tootsie Roll bank that was in my bedroom on Raleigh Drive to get a few extra dollars to buy myself a drink and a pretzel in the Meadowlands that night. And to come full circle and do this in our hometown with Sting and Nova's last match is beyond my wildest dreams. I can't even, it's storybook, man. It's Hollywood. I'm telling you, on a personal level, you ask me what it means. Now, you know.
I love that answer. That's the best answer possible. And obviously family first. I love that answer. Got to ask you this, not my first rodeo in the business. I tend to psychoanalyze a lot of these wrestlers and competitors and this nostalgia and things. And no stranger to the ring. I mean, are you going to be that guy that might get involved here? Are you just going to stay behind the scenes? Look, not my first rodeo. I got to ask.
I got it. No, the ringside managerial career of Big 80s Donnie B, while it was fruitful and fun, I'm done. I would never go back for 2 reasons. Number one, I can never duplicate what I had when I managed Rick Ratchet and then when I managed the Backseat Boys, Johnny and Trent. So why would I even try? And number 2, I would never want to diminish the position or take away an opportunity from a young guy like a Jared Silvercleat or some of these other guys that are floating out there that truly deserve those spots. So if I'm out there and there's a set of eyeballs at me, I'm taking away an opportunity from a guy that reminds me of myself when I was in my early 20s. So that'll never happen. I'm sure I'll do something on the event, maybe present an award or I don't know what, but there'll be no physicality for me in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, I'm on the record. I just got to ask. Not
You're
my
on the
first
record.
rodeo. Yeah, I got to ask. And I do a lot of the commentary and stuff on the independents. I do the backstage interviews. As you probably know, knowing being around wrestling, it's like talking to someone after they get a bad day at work, and I usually get punched by a wrestler or thrown out of the shot or my microphone thrown on the ground, whatever it is. And I also have been on the other side where I've done the camera switching, the hard cams, the roaming cams and all that stuff. And I love it. Been able to produce some stuff. And I'm kind of on that thing. Like, I don't actually love being on camera. I love working with everybody. I don't love being on camera. I like commentary because I'm not on camera as much and I can narrate everyone's stories. Did you kind of prefer like the performer aspect more, or do you like more the production aspect?
You know, it's weird when we went to Mike Sharp's in 1990, when Nova first started, the reason he joined the school was like how some guys would join a bowling league or karate or something. That's why he joined the wrestling school, just to get in shape. And we always loved wrestling. And we used to have shows every 2 weeks at Iron Mike Sharp's wrestling school. And he didn't have a referee after so many weeks, the one had left. So that's how I became a referee. And Mike Sharp said to me, if you referee here, I'll let you attend to be a wrestler for free. And I said, I don't want to be a wrestler, Mike. I said, I want to be a referee. And I want to learn how to do everything outside the ring. Being the actual physicality of wrestling in the ring never appealed to me.
Yeah,
I
get that.
I didn't want to be the painting. I wanted to be the guy who afforded the artist the oils and the paints and the canvas to paint his picture. I was more interested in that than I was actually being the picture. So that always appealed to me more. And I was always taught, hey, there's more longevity and more money behind the camera than in front of it for most guys, unless you're super special. Nova was special. He made it to the mountaintop. So for me, that never appealed to me, the actual physicality of it. I always enjoyed the promotional aspect behind the scenes. I loved the creativity. And I always loved, just like Christmas, leading all the way up to Christmas morning was always more of a thrill. And then 10 minutes after Christmas morning, everything's open, it's over. So that's kind of how I am with my events. Like, I lead right up to bell time. And when the bell rings, I kind of just leave it into the hands of the professionals. And then I kind of just take a big sigh of relief and then just sit back and enjoy it.
I love that answer. I'm glad I asked that because I'm still learning. Got to shout out our guys, GoPro. That'll be there all day. GoPro, some of the best production in the business. They'll be there all day at Contest of Champions. Guys, you can get your tickets now. Toms River, New Jersey, December 3rd. I'm so stoked. I'm hoping to sit down and talk to people at the Fan Fest. Maybe we'll bring someone in. We'll see what happens with that. And let's kind of talk about like the order of things, because I did sit down with Chad and I'm like, look, man, there's so many moving parts. I believe the camp is first, or possibly like the night before, and then we have the Fan Fest and then the show. Could you clarify that a little bit?
Absolutely. It's pretty cool. We actually have we're very advantageous to that. We were allowed to come into the building the day before to set up. So we said on Friday night, here's what's going to happen. If you've ever had an inkling or a desire, anything at all, to be in the wrestling business, Friday night is when you want to come. We're going to literally take people whose dream is to just try the business, try to get in the ring, learn about the business. That's who Friday night is for. And we have quite a few people, I believe, signed up for that. Just a general overlay of the business. And if you think it's for you and you have some talent or you have a desire, what we're going to do is we're going to steer you to one of several different directions. My first choice would be WrestlePro for most of the guys in this area, to go up there and continue, or your blossoming education, or if you want to get started in the business, that's what we would do. That's what Friday night is for. Saturday morning is for the super camp from 8 to 3, and that's for established talent to come. And like I said, all levels of talent. There's going to be the tryout matches. There's going to be the different blocks of instruction. That's what's very important. There's going to be instruction on promos, diet, fitness, financial advice, life after wrestling, there's going to be so much in that. We're going to break it down into, and Chad's done this more than I have, but I think we're going to break it. I think there's around 75 people. So we might break it into groups of 25 and have them go to different stations throughout the day. And then I think the second half of the camp, there's going to be tryout matches. And when I say tryout matches, I mean like a college combine. There are, and I really can't say who some of the people are that are coming because they've asked me not to for anonymity. And I said, that's cool. But there's going to be like legit decision makers and people that hire talent for national companies that are going to be here. And some of the talent might not recognize who they're not going to come in with a sign on that says I work for WWE or I work for AEW. They're just going to be there. But like Pat Buck's going to be there. Lou D'Angeli. I think Gabe Sapolsky said he's going to try to come.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Danny McDevitt. So there's going to be, I'm telling you, man, like I said before, guys are going to get jobs out of this. And that's the whole goal, because when we broke into the business, and also for commentators, referees, managers, all aspects of the business are going to be taught and gone over at this camp. When I got into the business, there was nothing like this. I have never heard of this. I had never seen it. And I just kept thinking to myself, why wouldn't somebody have ever done this? And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. It's almost impossible to get, if you have a room full of 4 promoters, trying to get 2 of them to agree on something is almost impossible. But to get this level of cooperation is really crazy, man, when you think about it. All the moving parts on this and everybody coming together and saying, yeah, that's cool. And that's the key to this, is that it's never been done before. And we want to afford opportunity where there was none. We want to give these guys the tools and sharpen their knives, iron sharpens iron, and have them go out into the world and see where it leads them. I mean, if one person got a full-time gig out of this, then it was all worth it, in my opinion.
Very, very well said. And just going back, I did want to say Pat Buck, will be there. And a guy's like then you mentioned Gabe. That's incredible. That's huge. There's so many. It's wild. There's nothing like this. This could be like, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. This could be like an annual combine kind of thing. Like you were saying, this could be cool. And I did want to say Pat Buck will be in action again with looking at the graphic here, Brian Myers and Matt Cardona taking on Kazarian from AEW, Aaron Stevens, formerly in WWE, and Nova. So that's going to be the big time matchup. I'm very excited for this one. Mr. Bucci, we like to have a little fun here on the BCP. I'm sorry, Donnie, on the BCP. You're a New Jersey guy, I guess, born and raised.
Yes, sir.
Tom's River. All right, so we do a little something here on the BCP, our little New Jersey rapid fire round. Just quick answers. If you want to go in descriptions, feel free.
Go ahead.
Just a couple quick questions. Ready to go?
Sure.
Pork roll or Taylor ham?
It's pork roll. I don't even know what Taylor ham is.
My guy, I knew I liked you. I knew I liked
question.
That's it. Easy. Bon Jovi or Bruce Springsteen?
You do know my name is Big 80s, right? So I'm going to say Bon Jovi.
That's it. I should have known.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right. This is a big one, man. I write all these down. What is the pizza spot?
Well, to me, the pizza spot, I live down the Jersey Shore, so it's always been the Sawmill in Seaside Park.
I've heard that a few times.
Yeah,
okay.
it's I could be like everybody else and say that all the spots that Portnoy goes to. I'm not going to do that. I'll say the Sawmill. I'll stay true to the Jersey Shore.
Okay, very cool. My spot got shout out. My spot, Vic's in Bradley Beach.
Oh, there you go.
Awesome. Got a favorite diner? That's a big Jersey thing.
Well, back in the day, I don't know if you're familiar with this. Out on Route 70, there was a diner called Olga's. It was on Route 70. It was a diner halfway between here and Philly. So if you ever go to any concerts or shows, we used to go out to the shows at the Metal or Philadelphia, the Spectrum, and all that. Halfway home, your halfway point was Olga's, and it was a 24-hour diner. So I'd say that was one of my favorites of all time, was Olga's. And in my bouncing days in Bricktown, New Jersey, and especially when I was a bouncer and when we used to go to Sharps, there was the Rainbow Diner. It was right on Route 70 in Bricktown, and that was a cool spot too. So I guess either one of those would be cool.
Love it. Got to ask this. What are the sport? And there's no wrong answer. You like who you like. What are the sports team? Are they the local teams?
I'm a Giants fan. Been a Giants.
My guy.
What's hilarious is I'm a Giants fan and Nova's a Dallas fan.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. So for the last, 25 years, we've been hearing out of him the rhetoric that this is their year and all that. And so, no, I'm a Giants fan. I guess somehow I was a Red Sox fan, too. I don't know how that happened. I was a big fan of when Pedro turned heel and bumped Zimmer and all that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There was just something about that. I thought it was so cool. Yeah, a pro wrestling angle in baseball. That's when it was never hotter than that. Go figure. But it's true. Everything's wrestling. Life is a work. Pro wrestling is real. Remember that. I coined that phrase in 1991.
I love it, man. And I'm a Giants guy too. I'm very happy. They're fun to watch for once. Solid coaching. Solid job by the coach. My dad is an Eagles fan. He literally got me a birthday present this year. I opened it was an Eagles shirt. I was like, thanks, Dad. Thanks a lot. So he was very proud of that. Got to shout out Dad on that one. I got to ask you this one. For someone who's been around the business for so long, first, I think it's so cool, the super camp that you guys are doing. Any advice you would have for some of the performers, the up and comers, those starting out or those trying to impress? I don't want to say the judges, but like the coaches.
Absolutely. I've been coaching up a few of the guys who have been in contact with me over the last couple of months, but I told them all the same thing. Make sure everything is on point. And by that, I mean, dial in your diet and your nutrition. Make sure you're well groomed. Something as stupid as having a few little gray hairs in your head. I mean, it sounds crazy, but all these things. Make sure your social media is cleaned up. If there's something weird or wacky or suspicious, the first thing any company is going to do before they even call you to offer your gig, they're going to vet you. They're going to do a background on you. And if there's something weird or suspicious, they're never going to dial that phone. Do that. Make sure that day you're cordial and kind to everybody. Treat everybody with respect. You have no idea who the decision makers are. You have no idea who has the ear of the decision makers either. So that would be my advice to these guys. Just come with your A game and realize that these type of opportunities don't come every single day.
Very well said. And then conversely, I got to ask, we got the Fan Fest, we got the show. Anything you want to say to the fans here in Jersey or the surrounding areas? This is a great show. This is a big opportunity. Anything you want to say? Because you have this mix of all this talent, some from Major League Sports, from the biggest wrestling companies in the world, some of the biggest legends. I mean, great opportunity for the wrestlers for sure, but for the fans to have all these people under the same roof.
For the first time ever in New Jersey, you're going to be able to come to one central location and literally, if you're a wrestling fan or a fan of entertainment, have one of the best days of your life. You're going to be able to see some of your childhood heroes of the present and the past and the future all under one roof. You're literally going to be in the presence of one of the men who's on the Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling, Sting. You're going to have the chance to shake hands, take photos with Jerry Lawler, Sergeant Slaughter. People who don't know. If you know, then you know how big Sergeant Slaughter was in the 80s. I'm telling you right now, there wasn't two bigger G.I. Joe fans than me and Nova on the face of the earth. So to have Sergeant Slaughter there is just crazy. Todd Frazier, Frankie Edgar. I mean, this is crazy. You're going to have a chance to get all these photos, these autographs, and see these people literally 10 feet in front of you. And the show itself, if you go through all the matches, is just nuts. It's some of the best talent and matches and matchups that I think have ever been in not only New Jersey, up and down the East Coast. I mean, you know the Indies better than I do. I don't. But just when we started putting this together, the six-way scramble, the two tag matches, I mean, the Graysons, the Wolves, the SAT, the Rep, all the guys in the six-way scramble, the women's match, Warhorse versus Dreamer for the Retromania title, a title that's been created just for this event and is going to be showcased across the country by whoever wins it. This is crazy, bro. If you've ever been a fan of any way, shape, or form, you're never going to get more. And it's literally $25 ticket is general admission. I mean, you ain't getting better than that. We made this super affordable for everybody.
It's amazing. It's going to be awesome. And before we get out of here, dude, Donnie, it's so good just to talk to you and get to know you a little bit better. But we're all about that shameless promo here on the BCP. Tell everyone where they can get tickets, follow you guys for the event, all that good stuff.
I believe the link, if you go to standalonewrestling.com, it's on Eventbrite. If that's where what we're doing is the floor seats you have to order online. So there's no confusion where everybody's sitting. You go on eventbrite.com, type in standalone. You'll see Standalone Wrestling Contest of Champions. There's also the phone number 609-709-8536. And there's a few outlets in Tom's River that have hard tickets. You can email, you can DM, you can text, whatever. They're also taking mail-ins for Sting, Sergeant Slaughter, and Lawler. In case you're not in the area and you want to send us your stuff, we'll make sure it gets signed. But that's the best thing to do. Get your tickets online in advance. And like I said, Sting is signing during the Fan Fest, and then he's appearing on the show. So my advice to anybody who wants to meet these guys, make sure you have that ticket, because when he's done and he leaves, I don't want people coming up to me saying, "Oh man, I just missed him." He's never. I don't think he's ever coming back. So maybe, but who knows? But be there.
Love it. Yeah, be there. Don't miss it, guys. We'll put the link in the description as well as
Cool.
you guys get those tickets real quick. I know people coming from Maryland. I know people coming from all over other states for this. They're very excited. And thank you and Chad for putting this all together and everyone involved. And just thank you so much for making the time and continued success, Donnie. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the 3rd, man.
Thank you, bro. I just want to say real quick too, man. The one
Please.
thing since I've come back to the business, which completely has blown my mind. And you guys, I'm a lot older than you guys, but I can assure you, this level of ancillary guy, like all these guys who are involved in the business, the video guys, you, the podcasting, the interviews, this didn't exist when we did the indies in the 90s. Like there was Gorilla with a VHS camera and maybe a microphone. So I'm completely blown away at the level of talent. When I met Shane Fair last year, I was like, this guy's incredible. And like when I met you and I see these GoPro guys and like, this is literally like traveling TV studios and the level of talent from all you guys outside the ring, I think is as equal to, if not better than some of the guys talent that I see in the ring. So my hat's off to you guys that are just keeping the wheels going on all this stuff, man. It's remarkable to see. Like I'm telling you, I can remember seeing 2 VHS cameras hooked with a coaxial cable to a little leaderboard, and they hit some buttons, and they'd have to go back later on and put subtitles on, and it was the shits. But you guys are just incredible, man. Like all you guys, my hat's off to you guys. You work really hard, and it makes everybody look better. So thank you.
I appreciate that, and got to shout out our guy Shane Fair, first ballot BCP Hall of Famer for sure. GoPro, they do a stellar job, man, and thank you for the kind words, man. We try our best, and at the end of the day, I think we all want to leave the business better than we found it, man. And I appreciate you, Donnie. I look forward to seeing you on December 3rd, man. Be well, and just continue success to you, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, my friend. Thanks for having me on. This was a lot of fun, and I'll see you on the 3rd. Thanks, guys.
Can't wait. And guys, like we always say here on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive,